So Brittany asked me, why do we do hero workouts as a way of memorializing the guys we know who have died overseas or died in service. We do that obviously for police officers and first responders as well. But anyways, I didn't have an immediate answer. It wasn't something that I thought a lot about, but when she asked me that, I started thinking about, how did that become a practice? Why do we do it? It ultimately came down to, I started thinking about a friend of mine who was, died on a mission, Annibal Santiago, 2010. He actually fell down a mountain in Afghanistan. But I remember how I knew him, how I met him. I met him in RIP, which is Ranger Indoctrination Program. Our names were close in alphabetical order, so we were near each other in formation, we were near each other in bunks, and we were also the two oldest guys in the class. He was actually 6 years older than me, so he was 36 years old when he went through RIP, which is frickin' ancient for a Ranger. It's old as hell to be going through RIP, number one, and it's just old just to be in Ranger Regiment, because making it through RIP is really just the beginning. So I was pretty beat up going through RIP at 30, but for him to do it at 36 was just astounding. But it's even worse than that. When he went through RIP, I'd say maybe 2 weeks in, he knew my background as a performance coach, and so he was having problems with his hip. So he'd come up to me and he was asking me questions of like, how can he, is there any way he can do to make it feel better? So I was giving him mobility work and stretches and whatnot to try and help him make it through. But anyways, one of the final tests we have to do before Coal Range. Coal Range is our Hell Week. But we ruck out to Coal Range. We do a 12-mile ruck out to Coal Range. At the time, we did it with 50 pounds. I think the standard is 35 now, at least 35 dry weight. But we went out to Coal Range, 12-mile ruck, 50 pounds. You have to do it under 3 hours. He missed the time hack by like a minute or two, something real short. Basically, he saw, he could see the cadre at the finish line, like telling him to hurry up, and he didn't make the time. So he failed the ruck. If you fail the ruck, you don't pass RIP, and you have to redo the whole thing. So they give you an opportunity to repeat the test, and he repeated it. His opportunity to repeat it was after Coal Range, so he had to go through all Hell Week, which you get, I don't know how much sleep it is, but it's in the single digits for that entire week. It's the first time in my life I ever hallucinated. A lot of guys will tell you that they experience that. They hallucinate they're just delirious from lack of sleep. But when you're out at Coal Range, that's where you have to pass all your land nav tests as well, and do patrolling exercises, and a lot of smoke fests, a lot of hitting the wood line, just making your life miserable. So we go through all of Coal Range, lack of sleep, lack of food, and then he's given, I think it was like he had to be up at like 3:30 or 4 to do, because Friday morning was graduation, so in order to do the 12-mile ruck and then prepare for graduation, I think he had to start the ruck at 3:30 or 4 a.m. Anyways, so he did the full ruck and passed it this time, and he graduated. And the whole time while we were in RIP, he never went to the medics because he didn't want to be med dropped. He wanted to go straight through, didn't want to have to redo it, didn't want to have to get, even if there's always the possibility that he's not given the opportunity to redo RIP either. So anyways, he didn't go to the medics. He goes to the medics after graduation. finds out during that whole period of time that he had a fractured hip socket, and did all that ridiculousness with that stress fracture in his hip. So that is what I think of when I'm asked the question, like, why do we do these really challenging workouts to remember the guys who have died overseas? Because it reminds us that they struggled and died so that others could have a better life. So we honor their sacrifice by continuing to fight, struggling, and working to create the best life we can for our loved ones and people around us. So I was going to read something to you guys. I wrote this years ago. It's just like anybody else. I fail, I give in, and I need things to help remind me to stay on track. This was something I wrote for myself, to remember to push myself hard when I'm being weak. Anyways, so remembering those who have gone before me, doing more with less, I will exercise my will, courage, and self-discipline to live and train correctly. I will overcome fear, pain, temptation, and discomfort to become mentally unfettered, emotionally resilient, and physically capable. And that's what I read to myself when I need that reminder. I used to recite the Ranger Creed, but I don't live the Ranger life anymore, and it doesn't seem right, so I have to come up with the new creed, and everybody should have a creed for their life. But anyways, that's the answer. We fight to be better so that we can make the world better, and we honor their sacrifice by making our lives worth something.